Welcome back, everyone. My name is Meg Kruger. I'm the content specialist with Pioneer. And today we're going to have a groundskeeper chat catch up with Corey, like Adam, Levine, Corey Levine. And we talked with him a couple months back, almost a year actually ago, when we interviewed him about our Fields of Excellence program. So we're excited to kind of catch up with him. He's in a new role, and we want to hear all about that and touch on some other cool topics. So Corey, I'll let you take it away. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the new job.
Awesome. Thanks, Meg. Like she said, my name is Corey Levine. I am the new athletic field superintendent here at the University of North Florida, right near Jacksonville Beach, down here. Took over here in August, so going on almost half a year into our fall seasons. I oversee all of our athletic grounds and common grounds as well. We have everything from baseball, softball, track and field, brand new beach volleyball complex.
Okay.
So I really get to have my hands in a lot of different sports, which is cool.
Definitely. And, back at your old position, you were pretty much a one-man band, correct?
Yes, correct.
And a lot of it was volunteer based as well. So kind of how does that differ? What does your crew look like in this new position? Are you still a one-man band, or what are you working with?
So we are a Division I school, but a lot of it does fall back onto myself. And we do have one of their full-time staff with me that helps kind of manage the common ground areas, as well as our facility staff here is awesome. But it is still, smaller scale Division I. So it is good that I'm used to doing a lot of stuff myself. But being exposed to a lot of new elements, being over here now with having baseball and softball is new to me.
Definitely. So has that been, some of the challenge, a learning curve there? Or what are some of the other differences that you've noticed between, your old position in the Parks and Rec high school level to now being, at the collegiate level?
The biggest difference for me being at the collegiate level now is learning their schedule, is learning when fall ball is going to take place for baseball. Same with softball, fall, soccer seasons early in the fall here, almost, right in August is when they reported back when I first got here. But learning their schedules, learning the way that they operate, and then also with recruiting, the fields here always need to be on stage as best as, and look as best as possible year round, which is a challenge. But just for when we bring recruits on campus, they're not seeing the field always being worked on, and that type of thing.
Very interesting. And definitely, new sports to take under your belt, a whole new playing field. That's really exciting. What are some of the things that you've learned kind of in these first 6 months that you think might, help other groundskeepers, no matter what level they may be at?
Yeah, I mean, it's really overwhelming when you get to a new facility. I was lucky enough to work here part-time under the former superintendent, Brian Kowalski, who's now with the Jaguars. So he's still a great resource for me to have to be able to learn the history of the field. But you really have to be at your facility for almost a full year to kind of get your grasp on the schedules, the way your fields are going to recover and the way they're going to play, just to kind of get your bearings on everything. And I'm still kind of halfway through that. We're gearing up to oversee, gearing up for spring baseball and softball, track and field. So really just getting through that first year and not being totally overwhelmed, I think is the biggest thing for me.
Yep, the biggest curveball for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about the makeup of the campus, in the sense of, how many natural surfaces are you working with? How many synthetic? What are you kind of juggling there?
Yeah, so we have our main soccer stadium. It's a multi-use facility. It's for men's and women's soccer and track and field. We just got a brand new bind track surface put in kind of during quarantine 2020, 2021. So that's also pretty new to me, is hosting these bigger, large scale track meets. We hosted everything from the NCAA East Regional track meet to the Junior Olympics to the professional track and field events and our ASUN conference meet, all within the last year of track and field.
Wow.
So that was new. We have our baseball facility, our softball facility, the brand new beach volleyball complex, which is does have natural grass around it as well, with the sand volleyball courts. We're in the middle of a practice field renovation right now. We're getting a synthetic turf field put in and a new practice track. So that's going on. And then we also manage our 2 intramural complexes, which are about 7 acres total. We have one on the north end and one on the south end of campus. So there's a lot of grass. Luckily, we are getting the synthetic field, which, just for the amount of wear and tear it does receive, was the best option. And they're about 3 weeks into construction now on that project. So that's kind of, been pretty cool too, to also be able to help oversee that. And once it's done, it'll be really nice.
Yeah, definitely. That's, so many opportunities I just heard in that little spiel, especially kind of overseeing a project like that. What has really been your role in, in the installation of that new field?
Yeah, so I got to come in on the kind of the back end of it all, the pre-planning, pre-construction. My first week here, we had our first actual pre-construction meeting a week before that project was about to start. So ultimately, I'll be the one taking care of it. So I've gotten to talk with the guys at AstroTurf about our maintenance. How that's going to go, what's included, what lines we're putting on it and laying in. Talking with my Pioneer rep about what type of synthetic paint we're going to use. How are we going to remove that paint? I've never had a turf field under my belt before, so just really talking with a lot of other industry leaders about how they're maintaining their synthetic surfaces, and just making sure that it's the safest for our student athletes here once it's done. Definitely.
And besides juggling all these projects, these new fields and the facility as a whole, it also is, there's the component of new relationships and really building that trust between, you and whoever else is going to be using the field, whether that's players, coaches, people that are making the schedule. How have you really navigated that in those first couple of months in the new position?
Yeah, so it's just really introducing yourself to your coaches and working on building those relationships. And you touched on it, it's trust. I mean, I'm younger, than a lot of these people that are, a lot of our coaches and even our, a lot of the players are almost the same age as I am. So it's really having them kind of see my work and trust that, yes, when the soccer team goes out of town for 10 days and I'm pulling cores and sweeping, that when they came in and saw that, that they trusted that by the time they had a home game again, that it'd be ready to go. It's just really and making sure that you're always open. Your communication lines are always open with those individuals as well. And they're really good with working with us, honestly, whenever we have to do certain projects or adjust schedules because of weather or what have you. They are good with working with us on that.
Well, that's awesome to hear, and definitely great advice, just making sure you're constantly keeping those communication avenues open. I definitely follow you on Twitter. I'm always seeing your updates that way. And I love the kind of content you put out, just updates on the field or, what you guys might be battling on campus that week. And something that really caught my attention was your recent visit across the pond to London to help with the Jags NFL game over there. Tell us a little bit about that experience, how you got involved and what role you really played over there.
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, I started working with the NFL League office out of New York, totally unrelated to sports turf, but they have 2 instant replay systems that they utilize on game days. One's for that everybody knows that, when the official goes and they're reviewing plays, but the second one is for injuries. So the medical staffs have their own instant replay system that they're able to utilize to review plays, to look at injuries, just to double check, with the days of CTE and concussions, and any other type of injuries. So I'm on the technological side. I'm not a doctor or trainer. I help make sure their technology works on game days, mainly here just in Jacksonville during the season. But we do get the opportunity with the Jaguars home game being over in London to get to go with them every year. So that was about my 5th time, I believe, going over there. But first time not being at Wembley Stadium, we played at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which was incredible for the turf side of me to be able to see. Our assistant sports field manager, Nick, was over there and got to give me kind of the behind the scenes of the stadium, and get to meet a lot of the NFL head guys that made the trip over to help in getting that game rolling. But it was a truly incredible facility, and it's an incredible opportunity to be able to go over there and see that stadium.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, what an experience, and also what an interesting role. There's so many things obviously that go beyond, go happening behind the scenes. But that's one I never even considered or knew about. So that's very interesting. And so you did mention that they had turf for the NFL game.
Yeah, so they do play on synthetic turf for the NFL games. There's 2 games a season normally that'll be played there, and that field pretty much hibernates underneath Tottenham's natural grass surface that sits on top on trays throughout their soccer season or football season. And then when the NFL does roll into town about a week prior, those trays split into 3 pieces and get rolled underneath the one end of the stadium, where they will hibernate and can not hibernate, but continue to grow artificially underneath the stadium, which is normally a parking lot on soccer game days over there. So they said it was underneath there for 14 days. I got to see them mowing it with an autonomous mower, which is being controlled by an RC controller. They were watering the pitch by hand and growing it with artificial lighting. So it was very cool to see the pitch and what they call the pitch pocket. Those guys, Darren and his crew over there, do an incredible job. It was we always complain about the battles we fight here, and I couldn't imagine one of our fields being inside for 14 days. It's just incredible.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. Well, I've loved all the information you've been able to share with us, and it was great to catch up with you and hear about the new position. And we hope that, you'll submit the new field for the Fields of Excellence program as well, because I'm sure you've got it looking tip-top shape. I actually stole your photo, as you know, to really entice people to send in their photos, because you've got everything looking great.
I appreciate it. We're trying our best.
Good. Well, thanks so much, Corey. I really appreciate the time, and look forward to catching up. Are you going to be at STMA?
I will definitely.
Perfect.
I will be there.
Well, we can finally meet in person. That will be nice.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.